Okay students, so today we will be learning what is communication. Okay, the first chapter of your IT book, what is communication. So actually what is communication? See, you don't need to study a chapter for answering what communication is. Communication is a way of contacting someone, okay, way of conveying information, okay, just a very common sense. We're able to tell something, some information, okay. What is actually communication? Communication is transfer of information from one place to another, okay. The method that we use, that is communication. See, transfer to transfer an information from one place of the world to another, you have to choose any method of communication, okay. Like see, suppose any relative of yours, he or she stays in America, USA, okay. So how do you communicate? You communicate using video call, using WhatsApp video call, using Google Duo video call, using Skype video call, using this Google Meet video call. You can apply any type of communication you can apply, okay. But it is a very little bit hard to communicate with them using mobile phone networks. That means I should say the mobile, the Jio, Airtel, Vodafone, this type of that is cellular data, cellular network, okay, which means the direct calling, the direct call that you do, the phone call actually. The phone call, it is a little bit tough to perform phone call at such a distance, because then you will be having you will be needing to recharge an ISD pack. What is meaning of ISD? International standard dialer, okay, international standard dialer. We always, the packs, the recharge packs that we always recharge are all by default STD, okay, that we can standard trunk dialer. That means I can call from my state to some another state inside India, but not outside India, okay. If any call goes from my location to outside my country, then I first of all, if STD pack is active, then the call won't happen, okay. Second of all, if STD pack is not active, suppose the ISD pack is active, so huge amount of money will be required. The money will be required is huge to calls at such a long distance, okay. The charges will be super high to communicate such a long distance. So actually we don't need that. Today we have WhatsApp video calling, Facebook video calling, or any kind of video calling apps, you know. So these are kind of communication. So communication may be direct, indirect, okay. See over here, it's written like send messages over phone, like post, write emails. Oh, these are all kinds of communications, okay. Whenever we speak, write, send message, these are all kind of communications, okay. Suppose I am just highlighting, I am just talking to you, I am talking, I am recording my voice on my computer. What I am doing? I am doing communication, so that I can transfer the information about this whole chapter to you via a video, okay, via a video. So that is communication, okay. So some communications are direct, some are indirect. What I am doing is indirect communication. Am I talking to you directly? No, I am making a video, recording a video, then this video is being sent to you, then you will watch, okay. So these happen in 2 or 3 steps, okay. This doesn't happen directly. It's not like that you are sitting in front of me and I am talking face to face with you, okay, I am teaching face to face with you. It's not like that. It happens in many steps, okay. So that's why it's written directly or indirectly, okay. So this is indirect form, verbally and non-verbally. See, what is verbally? Verbally means speaking, using the speaking method of communication, okay. So like teaching, like what I am doing right now, this is verbal communication. Suppose I can't talk, okay, so what I will do? I will do non-verbal communication. That means I will use sign language, gestures I will use, okay. Sometimes we also use gestures. Suppose in a class, suppose in a class there is a teacher who is so very strict and doesn't want you to make noise, okay. So in that class you will use your sign languages, okay. You use sign languages or gestures to communicate with your friends, okay. That is called non-verbal communication, okay. That is non-verbally communicating with one another. These are the various methods. So we will learn ways of communication. First of all, the definition of communication. Communication means being able to tell other people what you want to say, okay. This is the formal definition of communication. Communication means being able to tell other people what I want to say. That means the information that I want to convey to them, okay. Expressing our feelings, so I can express my feelings. Suppose I am sad, I can call my friend, okay. I can call my family relatives to share my feeling with him or her, okay. passing on information or influencing. Passing on information, that means what I am doing right now, passing on information to you, influencing other people's opinion. Okay, like suppose there is a meeting inside an office, and I am an employee of that office, so I am a managing a CEO, kind of a CEO of an office. So what I will do, I will be influencing all the directors, managing directors, MDs of those office about what should be done, about financially, about technically. All the opinions should be given by me. So that is influencing other people's opinion. Okay, all are parts of communication. Everything is communication. Okay, everything in here is communication. In your daily day-to-day life, everything that you do, it mostly comprises of communication. Okay, without communication, we human beings can't live. Okay, we can't communicate, we can't actually express our feelings, we can't do anything without communication, you know very well. So communication can take place in many ways. There are many ways of communication. Like first is verbal communication, verbal form, that is communicating orally. What I am doing right now, I am communicating orally. Next is non-verbal form, that is communicating using body language, gestures or tones. Okay, mainly body language and gestures. Okay, then written form, this book, very good example is book. See, what is a book? Book is a written form of communication. You can see many sentences over there. These are what? Written form of communication. Okay, or any printed notes, these are all written form of communication. All PDFs are in form of written form of communication. Okay, next, what is visual form? Visual form is communicating by pictures, logo, posters, maps, etc., charts. Now suppose someday you are an employee of an office, and you have been given the role to present upon one topic to some other company employees, who are other company directors, who are coming to you, who are being invited to your office. Okay, so what you will do, you will go to Microsoft PowerPoint presentation, you will make a good presentation of your office, the share prices, all the sales, all the profits, losses, or everything, all the details of your office, you will jot it down under one pie chart, or suppose a bar graph, or any kind of method, any kind of map or chart, or any kind of thing inside what? Inside a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. Okay, a presentation format. Now when those employees who will come to your office, you will show them the presentation, and you will present them in front of them, so that they can see visually. Okay, not written. It's a not written form of communication, it's a visual form. A graph, a bar graph, you people know what are bar graphs are, histograms, then frequency polygons. These are what? These are all visual forms of communication. That is, you can see pictures, logos, these are all visual forms of communication. Okay, next comes so these are all the 4 forms of communication. Communication in any of the above ways will send the message across, but not all communication is effective. See, in many situations, see, communication depends on situation. In some situation you can perform verbal, in some non-verbal, in some written form, or in some situation visual form. Now suppose if, let's say, there is no book, so what I should do? If suppose there is no book, suppose you don't have a book, okay, what I should do? I should send you a PDF on just some pictures. The PDF would be just some pictures, okay, that you should find interesting. Okay, so these are there the pictures are effective, that means there the visual form is effective, the written form is not effective. Okay, now there are many kinds of situations where you don't have that much effectiveness in one form of communication, so you choose the other form. Suppose a person who cannot hear any sound, okay, deaf, so with him or her, can you perform verbal communication? No, you can't perform verbal communication. What you have to do? You have to do non-verbal communication. That means sign language you have to use, or maybe the written form of communication, or maybe the visual form. So over there verbal form of communication fails. Okay, so over there verbal communication is not effective. You will not get a fruitful result by performing verbal communication. Okay, so these are the examples that I am trying to quote. Effective communication refers to the right way or style of communication. See over here, the effective communication is the right way, refers to the right way or style of delivering, of style of communication that makes the right impact and delivers the right message across. Okay, so what is effective communication? How do you understand that your communication has been successful? You will only know how your communication is successful if a feedback is there. Let's say, suppose the communication that you just performed has made a great impact on the person with whom you have made the communication. Okay, suppose they're influenced greatly, and they just understood the right meaning of all the communication that you tried to say. Suppose I am teaching, so I am teaching IT. Suppose I am teaching IT subject, information technology. Now if I teach IT, and suppose I get deviated from IT to biology, and then you can understand then I tell something about biology, okay, I tell some topics about biology, then what you hear is biology, some topics of biology from me. Now is this my communication effective? No. Why? Because this is the IT class, I should be teaching IT, okay, I should be teaching IT, I shouldn't be teaching biology or any other subjects, okay. So then the communication is not effective, not successful, because you didn't get the right knowledge out of my words, okay. Again, there are some types of examples I can say. Suppose you want to tell something good to your friends, but your friends or any kind of relative just minds it in other way, okay. So that is not effective communication again. For example, if you can choose the right word, take appropriate pause, maintain eye contact with the audience and hold their attention while keeping a healthy body language, you should be known as a good speaker or even as a good communicator, okay. So this is actually public speaking. The thing that is being told here is actually public speaking. When you perform public speaking, you have to be very much confident, you have to take a very huge amount of courage in your body to do public speaking, because there are many rules of public speaking. See, in public speaking there is a very high chance, almost 95% of chance, that all the public, all the audience that are sitting in front of you, okay, they will get bored by your speech. So what you have to do, you have to follow very minutely, very sensitively some rules of public communication. One is the right words, you have to use right words, attractive words you have to use, okay. You shouldn't use words like lame words, lame English words you shouldn't use. You should, if you are giving any lecture in English, then if you are giving a lecture in Bengali, you have already seen, suppose if you go to any function, any program happening anywhere in Kolkata, there you see, suppose they conduct the full program in Bengali, they use good Bengali terms. The terms of the Bengali they quote are very good, okay, are very what should I say, uncommon Bengali terms that you don't hear in day-to-day life, okay. So these terms actually attract people's attention. What exactly he tried to say, this is actually a method of attracting people's attention, so that the people don't get distracted from the speech, they don't get bored. Take appropriate pause, like there is a full stop or a comma, so there I have to give a pause because that's a punctuation. We are intended to give a pause, okay. So that pause should be given appropriately. You shouldn't just read a full poem like without giving a pause, okay. Like if you just chant a poem or if you just chant any rhyme, what you do, you actually give a pause, then start the next line, give a pause, then start the next line, or else what you will do, you will lose the rhythm of the poem, you will lose the tone, okay. Maintain eye contact with everyone, okay. So you have to shift your eye contact every 5 to 6 seconds with everyone that is inside your audience, okay. That eye contact is very much important with the audience and hold their attention. See what I said, they don't get distracted, so that you should hold their attention so that they don't get distracted. You shouldn't be boring them while keeping a healthy body language. You should be having a healthy body language because you should stand straight, okay. You shouldn't be like kneeling down very often, okay. If there is no other problem, so you should keep straight posture. There's a very good healthy body language, okay, not an uneven body language. So then you will be considered as a good speaker or even an effective communicator, okay. So then these kind of qualities are of a public speaker mainly. So there is a definition of effective communication. Effective communication refers to the right way of communicating that makes the right impact and delivers the right message across. Over here the same thing is being copy pasted over in the note, okay. So I think you understood the effective communication. Next comes to elements of communication. So what are the elements of communication? See, there are many parts through which the communication has to undergo. So first part is the sender or the messenger. Suppose I am the sender, I am recording this video and I am sending it to you. Now if I don't send the video, will you get that? Will you get the video? No way, you can't get the video, because if I don't send, how will you get it? So sender initiates the communication, okay. Sender initiates. What is the meaning of initiates? Initiate means starts. Sender starts the communication. Suppose if I don't call you, will you call me back? No, not very likely you will call me back. If I don't call anyone, he or she is not much likely to call me back, okay. So if I don't send this video, what you will do? You will get the video? No, you won't get the video, okay. Just as simple as that. So I am the initiator of the communication, I am the starter of the communication. So I start this communication, this video lecture. Second one is idea or information of the message that being sent, okay. So what is the idea or information of the message? See, the idea that I am sharing with you constantly through my words. So this information, this idea is being conveyed to whom? To you people, okay. So this thing I am conveying to you, understood. So this thing also comes the second portion. That means that I am the sender, I am making the video, and what I am putting inside my video is the idea of communication. What is the material of this video is the idea, the information, or the message that I am sending to you, or I want to send to you. Okay, all my words are being recorded in the video. These words are the idea or information. Mainly it is the information actually. Okay, it's the information, I should call it the information that I am sharing with you. Next comes encoding. Now what is encoding? See, this is a long topic. If I start encoding, just I will cut it short. What encoding is? Encoding it means the format in which I am communicating with you. Format doesn't mean like phone call, like video call. That is not the format. That is the type of communication. Format means, let's say I am making a video. So I think that all of you are very much accustomed with computer, who are very much accustomed with computer or mobile phone. They know that all videos inside a mobile phones and computers are mostly all of your videos are stored as .mp4 format. .mp4. When I stop the recording and save my video, I will also be seeing that this recorded video will be a .mp4 video, .mp4 file. Okay, so that .mp4 is the format of the file. Now you all know that any kind of image that you click in with your mobile phone's camera, they are all what type of image? .jpg or .jpeg. Okay, these kind of images you click using your camera. There are many other kinds of images like .png file, PNG image file. Okay, next, suppose you are creating a Microsoft Word document. What kind of file it is? It is a .docx file, or sometimes it's .doc also. Okay, now if you create a text file, it will be .txt file. Okay, if you create a PDF file, suppose the PDF file that I have currently opened in front of me on the laptop screen, so that is a .pdf file. Okay, this dot, after the dot, what extension is being given? That is nothing but the encoding format of the thing, of the communication that I want to share to you, So what is encoding? Give some structure or form to idea. Okay, example, words if verbal or non-verbal communication, pictures if visual communication, like pictures like .jpg format. These are encoding. So all the pictures that you click, actually they are nothing but small pixels. Those pixels need to be encoded. Inside a .jpg file. I am not telling the full details of how it is being encoded, how a picture is being formed, how a video is being formed. Just I will tell you a short topic, that is how a video is formed. Now I will tell you how a video is formed is. A video, you know, there are some frame rates in a video. Okay, FPS, frames per second, or frame rate they call it. Okay, 60 FPS, 30 FPS, 24 FPS. Normally all videos that you record using your mobile phones are 30 FPS by default. Okay, by default every mobile phone is 30 FPS. Now if you don't have a high-end mobile phone, suppose a mobile phone costing very high, with a high price, okay, then you will be availing 60 FPS, 120 FPS. Okay, these kinds of frames per second will increase because those need some extra hardware to capture those kind of videos. Now what is this FPS? I will tell you. Now how video is made, I will tell you. Videos are made by clicking pictures, clicking small pictures, not small actually, clicking pictures frame by frame. That those pictures are known as frames. Now how many pictures are clicked? That depends on the frame rate. If 30 FPS is the frame rate of any video, that means 30 frames per second. FPS means frames per second. That means in 1 second 30 pictures are being clicked. In 1 second 30 pictures are being clicked. Suppose the video frame rate is 60 FPS, then it means that in 1 second 60 pictures are being clicked. So I think you can understand. So now when you want to play a video, do you see the video as picture by picture? Suppose I scroll one picture to another picture, then I scroll one picture to another picture, then that picture to another picture. Do I do that? Do I see video like that? No. No one actually, I don't know anyone who sees video like that. Okay. How video is shown? It just flows. The video, if you just hit the play button and it flows like water. Okay. And you cover the whole video like very smoothly. Do you see any kind of pictures moving from right to left or left to right? No. This is known as encoding. Now if you don't have done any encoding, so what will you see? You will see only pictures. You can swipe pictures, hundreds and thousands of pictures you will see. Okay, but if you have done encoding, those pictures will go one by one in the video and it will show like a very smooth of water flow type of smoothness. Okay, that it will be shown in the video. Okay, that thing is called encoding. All those pictures are being formatted in form of a video, so that formatting is known as encoding. Okay, That is known as encoding. Encoding means giving a structure to a particular information. Okay, that is meaning of encoding. Now communication. Communication channel. It means the method that you are using to put the communication successful, through which communication is taking place through the environment or through some paper or social media or internet or email over internet. Okay, now if you can call someone, so that communication channel is calling, mobile call. Okay, if you are texting someone in WhatsApp, so the communication channel is WhatsApp. If you are sending an email to someone, that communication process method or communication channel is email. Okay, suppose you are writing to someone a letter. Okay, the communication channel is via letter. Okay, so these are the channels of communication. Next comes the receiver or recipient, the one who receives what you want to communicate, what the sender wants to send. Okay, suppose I send a letter to you, you receive the letter, so I am the sender, you are the recipient. Okay, so this is called receiving. Okay, so receiving comes fifth, the target one, the target where I want to send the communication. Suppose I want to send the communication to standard 9, so I send it to standard 9 only, not to standard 10, not to standard 8, only to 9. My target is only 9. Next comes the decoding. Now very much like encoding, decoding is also one kind of, what should I say, understanding a message. Actually what message I send you, understanding this. Suppose I am speaking English right now, suppose I start to speak French. Now will you understand anything? No, you won't understand, because my encoding format doesn't match with your decoding format. You can only decode English in your brain, or some other types of Hindi, Bengali, you can decode everything in your brain. But can you decode French? Can you decode Spanish? No, we are not, we don't have a French accent, we don't have a Spanish accent. Okay, so we don't know this type of languages. So we know only English and Bengali, Hindi, all other kinds of languages we know. Okay, so those languages we can decode in our mind. Okay, now suppose unknown language comes in front of us, we can't decode that, so that thing happens. Now suppose I record the video, I told that it is .mp4 format, it will be stored in .mp4 file. Now if I upload the video, you will watch it in YouTube, or you can download it. After downloading it, how you will watch? Either using your phone's video player or using your computer's video player. So those video player, what it does, it decodes the video. What it does, it decodes the video. That means it understands that yes, this is a video file, it is not any other file, it is a particularly it is a video file. It understands that, and that's how it can play. If it doesn't even understand that what file it is, it can't play, it will not play, eventually it will not play. Understood? So this thing is known as decoding. Next comes, see, if I read out the decoding paragraph, once the receiver receives the message, he or she should use the same medium and should decode the received message so that the message can be comprehended and understood. The main thing is understood, to understand the message, what is inside the message. Okay, example, if the message contains a proper medical term, then the receiver received should be rightly decoding using the same language in which the message is encoded. Now yes, that is a very good example that is being given in your book. Suppose a doctor writes a letter to you. Now doctor has written some medical terms. Now if you are not a doctor, if you are suppose an engineer, will you understand his or her the doctor's medical terms? No, you won't even understand. Those medical terms can only be understood by a doctor or any kind of pharmacist. Now in a prescription, in a doctor's prescription, can you understand anything inside a prescription? You won't understand. But if you give that prescription to medicine to someone in a medicine shop, what he or she, that medicine shop owner will do, he or she will give all the medicines that you require, and he or she will always also tell you which time you should take which medicine. Okay, after dinner, after lunch, or before dinner, before lunch, everything, each and every details he or she will tell you. How does he or she understand? Because there is a kind of decoding that runs in their brain. They can decode the handwriting of the doctor. Okay, so these are kind of examples of decoding. Next comes feedback, a very important part of communication also, feedback. That means suppose I record this video, I am recording this video, now you get the video. Okay, you suppose you will get the video tomorrow. What will happen is, suppose you see the video, some people have doubts, but they never tell me. After 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, they even never tell me. They actually never want to tell me if they have any doubt or not. Suppose after 10 years they call me, sir, I have a doubt. Before 10 years you read in 9, after 10 years you are calling me that I have a doubt in my class 9th chapter. Is this a good way of feedback? So feedback is always important in a communication. Suppose if I just convey, if I am conveying the interactive class, interactive video lecture, okay, the interactive, that means using Google Meet. Now if I want to say something, you will ask me a question. if you have any doubt in that part. Okay, if you don't have any doubt, you will not ask me, but if you have, you will ask me. So I will understand that whether you are understanding this or not. Okay, I will understand whether you are understanding this or not, and that is the feedback. Feedback means this thing. Okay, that means you are saying me whether you have understood the topic that I have covered or not. If you have not understood, tell me, I will clear it again. If you have understood, then well and good. Okay, so that is the feedback. Feedback is very important, or else I won't understand whether you are clear with this topic or not. Okay, so this feedback is very much important. Now feedback, I will read out the paragraph. It may include certain things, most commonly if the message is successfully received or not. First of all, most commonly the message is successfully received or not. Now if I just send this video to you and you suppose you don't get the video, now what you will tell me, sir, I have not got the video. Then I will come to know that yes, you haven't got the video. Then I will send it again. Suppose you don't say that, you just keep your mouth shut. Okay, now what, how do I ever know, will I ever know that whether you have received this video or not? I will not know. I will assume that yes, you have received the video, but actually you have not received the video. What will happen in exam? If I give any question from this portion, you will not be able to understand the question. Okay, you will not be able to answer the question also. So that is the value of feedback. That is the importance of feedback inside the communication, to prevent misunderstanding. Okay, now important communication skills that we have to keep in mind. Get the message across correctly. Okay, get the message across correctly. Communication skills are very important to get the correct message across in right form. Okay, that means I should convey the message correctly. Suppose I am teaching you IT right now. Now if I say something which is incorrect, now that is not a good way of, not an effective way of communication. That is not a rule of importance of communication. Okay, so everything should be transferred correctly to the listener or the audience. That means you are the listener, you are the audience, you are the audience. Okay, next comes professional success as an importance of communication. Okay, communication skills are important for all types of professional success. Okay, now see, if you are giving an interview, now if you don't have a fluency in English, now can you crack the interview? No, there is a 90% chance you will not crack the interview. Okay, so a very much important part of communication is professional success, importance of communication. So you will be good at your profession, you will be interactive, too much interactive to your profession, which is a very good sign, which your HR, that is a human resource manager, will appreciate about. Okay, in any kind of company which you will be going in future. Increase productivity. Now the salesperson of any company, how they do so much sales? Because using their communication skills, they can convince any person. Using the communication skills, a salesperson can convince any kind of normal person, normal human being. Okay, and make them buy a certain thing. That is called increased productivity. Now if you don't have a good communication skill, can you sell anything? You won't be able to sell anything. Okay, next comes help in problem solving. Now help in problem solving means, suppose you got a problem. Okay, suppose you got a problem, then you call me, sir, I got a problem. Okay, I will immediately solve that problem for you. Okay, now communication skills play an important role in problem solving. On one end, communication skills are very important for discussing the problem, if any, and on the other end, solutions are also found out through communicating correctly. What I said just right now. Okay, suppose on your end you have some problem, you call me, I solve the problem. See, you get the solution. Using what method? Using communication, using communication skills, you get the solution from me. Okay, better professional image. Okay, communication skills are important for building a professional image. A good professional is the one who understands his or her role well, conveys clearly in the effective manner, and does his or her job well. Now suppose the CEO of Google, if he doesn't have a communication skill, will he be so much famous in today's world? He won't be so much famous. Since he is having a good communication skill, that's why he is so much famous. Obviously for his works he is also famous, but because some part of his communication skills are also involved in his success. Okay, if he won't be able to speak in English, will he be considered for any kind of CEO in any kind of such a big reputed Google company like Google? Okay, he won't be. So fluency in communication, efficiency in communication skills gives you a better professional image. The image in front of the world it gets better day by day if you have a good communication skill inside you. Okay. And last of all, better networking and relationships. Relationship building is totally dependent on communication. Okay. Suppose there is a husband and suppose a couple. Let's consider a couple. Now the wife stays in Kolkata, and the husband stays in suppose USA. Now will there be so much good communication between both of them through video call? Through video call, will there be so much healthy communication between both of them? No, it can't be possible. So after all, after some time, their relationship will break. So it is a very important thing to maintain communication, because face-to-face communication, okay, that communication skills improves the emotional bonding between two people. Okay, relationships, networking, like friends. Now in this lockdown situation, you can't meet any friends. Okay, you are just untouched, detached from your friend. Just only using video call you can contact. Now that is not that much emotionally healthy for some person. Okay, that is not emotionally healthy. Some person cannot accept that emotionally. Okay, so that is the reason why communication skills improves relationship and networking. Okay. Some people are there who can make thousands of friends in Facebook, but some people are not. Some people just have 100 or 200 friends on Facebook because they can communicate. They're shy to communicate. Okay. Suppose you get into a new college, there you will have new friends. There is a very less chance that you will get some known friends inside the college. Okay, you won't even. There is a 0.01% chance that you will get some known friends inside the college. Suppose you don't get. So all are new over there. If you are shy, then you can't make any friends. If you are very good at communication, then you will make friends. On the first day of your college, you will make friends. Okay, so that is the thing. That's why communication skills improves networking and relationship. Okay, and also relationship that I gave example, the couples relationship. Okay, so that is the overall viewpoint of the chapter. What is communication? Okay, so today we will end up over here. On the next class, I should start a next chapter. And if you have any doubt in this portion, you can tell me anytime on the next class. Okay, thank you everyone.